I taught a class, and I remember the faculty saying to me, like, all right, well, you could do it however you want to do it. But there's this one student named such and such. Watch out for him because he's doing really bad in school. I taught him how to make beats, and I had a big speaker, so they would. Some didn't want to know how to make beats. Some just wanted to dance. And the one kid they warned me about, he asked me the most questions, like, so how do you do that? How are you recording this? Like, he was watching everything I was doing because he was passionate about it. And then just from that, his grades went up. Everything went up.
Knock him out the box, Rick. Knock him out, Rick. Knock him out the box.
Rhythm Rug,
Rhythm Rug. Yep.
aka Rhythm,
Yep.
aka Rhythm.
Yeah. Rhythm Rug. Yeah.
Rhythm Rug, man. Where did that come from?
Well, my old producer name was Beast of Beats. And when I realized that I was the artist that I was searching for, I needed a new name. So I remember saying, all right, give me a new name. What's my name going to be? And then I was walking in New York, in Albany, New York. And I was listening to Pandora, and there's a song, you know, Tribe Called Quest?
Yeah.
And Can I Kick It?
Oh, yeah.
And so when he says the line where he says, wipe your feet real good on the rhythm rug, I just stopped in my tracks and I said, Rhythm Rug, like that's my name. And immediately I called GoDaddy up and I bought the domain, and you know, I just knew that was the name. And now the meaning of Rhythm Rug is just it's took on its own life. It's more than just a lyric now. It's like, you know, you like the definition of rhythm rug. So we know life is rhythm. And a rug is a blending of various patterns, textures, colors. So we're all sending a signal out of our heart. That's the different type of pattern. And you know, we harmonize. So it's like the rhythm rug, you know. We all are. In my heart, we're all rhythm rug. Like the whole world is rhythm rug. It could be, we blend, you know.
Woven together
In
in a tapestry of love.
Yeah, exactly.
With rhythm.
In rhythm.
Well, rhythm, yeah, I was wondering about the rug part. The rhythm part I get, man. Like
Right.
music, it connects people physically right away, man. Like through the heartbeat of the song.
Yeah.
The beat, the rhythm.
Yeah.
That's what, like, you know what I mean? There's a melody, but the rhythm. And when you go into those, like even those house parties and everyone's thumping to like, you know, one rhythm, one heartbeat.
Yeah.
There's something special about that.
It is.
Yeah. But the rug part, I get now. So it's like, is it also that you're welcoming people?
Yeah.
Like you want people to stand on your shoulders maybe? Or no, it's more about the woven, the tapestry of the rug.
Well, I never actually looked at it like that, but that I love that. It's because
Yeah.
you know,
You're giving yourself.
yeah.
Like the rug gives itself fully, man. It's like, stand on me. Like
Wow.
take all the weight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody that passes into your home, you know, I don't know. I don't want to say wipes their feet because that sounds like derogatory, but
yeah.
it's maybe like the most selfless way of giving yourself, like here,
Right.
you know, let me
Right.
clean your feet.
That's powerful.
Come in pure, baby.
That's powerful.
And you give love when you meet people. Like when I met you, so I met you at Free's 30th party.
Right.
Yeah, I should have said, why did I say that? I said an art event.
Yeah.
We met at Free's 30th birthday party. Shout out to Free Art.
Shout out to Free.
Right? And when I met you coming down, you were down there like right away. You're just so open. You're smiling. You're positive. Like, how do you get in that frame of mind? Like, what is that about? Why are you like that?
Well,
Because it does come. You know, a lot of people smile, but it's different.
yeah. You know, it's something that it's been my like. There was a time in my life where I knew that the main thing that I wanted to achieve from life was to bring joy, because I feel like your health is you know, related to your sense of joy. It affects your finances. It affects your relations with people around you. Joy to me is like, it's something that I want to cultivate, like the garden, you know, like, so our mind is like a garden. So I got to plant the joy, cultivate it. And just like, that's my life mission. And but music is the tools I use, but it's greater than the music though. You know, it's like, that's why we're here, because it's affecting everyone. It's affecting people on the other side, people that have passed on, people that are yet to come. It's affecting all of us here, because we really are all connected. So like that's,
Yeah, absolutely. So when did that shift happen for you? Do you
That
remember like a
happened-
story, a time?
Yeah, that happened in around 2014. 2014, I was involved with, like, you know, I was studying the scriptures really heavy. You know, I was studying like the Old Testament, the New Testament, the Torah. I was really heavy involved with like the biblical culture. the ancient, like Torah and Hebrew stuff. And I just knew so much information, like who was who and what happened in what year. And then it got to the point where I didn't, like, the joy in me was getting sucked out. Like, I just realized that it didn't matter what all these things that I knew. The main thing that mattered was like, yo, be joyful like a child. Like, just even like the Christ said, the kingdom of heaven is like a child. You can't enter it unless you become like a child, unless you just believe, enjoy this life, and be like a child. Just know that everything's for you, not against you.
Right.
Like, everything's,
Stop questioning. Stop asking. Even sometimes, just enjoy the now.
enjoy the now. Yeah.
So you became more about the now.
Yeah. It was hard to do at first because you're stuck in a pattern. It's like a habitual way of thinking. But then you just realize to follow the sense of joy in you, and like what do you want to do with life? And I realized that music was my passion, and I just started like giving that my attention, and whatever you give your attention to, grows. So yeah, and then you start to build the confidence up because like, all right, I'm here to do this. I'm going to do it. And then
Right.
you just grow. No, and then you become like, I am this. I am it. I am music. I am successful. I am making positive music. This is
Right.
healing people.
So I'm going to tell you, as somebody that grew up, I would say, sort of vanilla in that, kind of traditional type family, go to college, think a certain way. I definitely have, once I started opening my mind, have realized more and more that it's all about the now.
Yeah.
It's all about the right now. Yes, it's smart to plan for the future in case you're around, right?
Right.
But if you can't enjoy the now, you're never going to enjoy this game.
Right.
Because there's always going to be something to worry about. It's an attitude. It's a mindset. And I used to not be able to tap into that.
Right.
So that's why I'm interested in it, because I think, it's the key for a lot of people. They're constantly rushing to the next thing. They got to constantly be somewhere. They got to constantly go do something versus enjoying the now.
Right.
Even with cell phones, you're not enjoying the virtual reality that's happening at this moment. You're instead distracting yourself with something in a phone.
Right.
It's also not being in the moment.
Yeah.
You could be in the moment of what's happening in the phone. That's still being in the moment, being in the zone of the phone, and you get lost in that.
Right.
But how do you tap into like what's happening every moment and maximize that so that no matter what life throws at you, you can enjoy the game?
Yeah.
Because you can't control the game,
Right.
right?
Right.
And you can't fake that, right? People that pretend to be joyful,
Yeah.
it comes
no.
across different. So that's why
Yeah.
I'm wondering how you tapped into that, how you made that switch. Like when you were studying all this stuff, like what did you see that made you say, I got to change my thinking?
I remember like what it came down to was I didn't know my identity anymore. I didn't know, like, it came down to trying to figure out what my bloodline was or what my historical family line was. And I remember thinking that if I'm not a certain particular bloodline or a certain background, that I had no salvation or no hope. And then I remember just thinking, like, I had a dream when I was 5, and it wasn't even a dream. It actually really happened when I was 5 years old. And my mother called me up and reminded me of it. And I had forgotten about it for years. And at that moment, I realized whatever the higher power is, or the infinite intelligence or God, it's watching over me, and it's for me, not against me. It's going to bring me out of this dark place. And then I just realized, like, let me just tap back into that. Like, how did I get so far off? But you come running back to to that essence of joy. Like, it's a feeling.
Right.
It's a feeling, like,
Is it just listening to your gut,
yeah, it's
your instincts? How do you tap into it?
I see.
Do you ever slip out of it and wake up depressed and dark and go, wait, find the kid? Or are you just...
Yeah, I have those moments where, like, you start to worry about things, and that starts to choke you, because, you choke your joy out. And what I do, bro, it's like I might just listen to a song that makes me happy. I go for a drive. I go to Whole Foods and grab me a yerba mate. It just get me out of just get me moving again, because interaction with people is normally what brings my joy back. Like, I'll see somebody in Whole Foods, they'll be like, oh, really? We just start chopping it up. And then they'll tell me something that lifts my spirit up. And before you know it, I'm out of that feeling. And then I make sure I call my family up every day and tap in with them, and build the joy up at them too.
Right.
Yeah. It just
Yeah, you tap into the
Interaction.
energy, man.
you got to cultivate. You got to stir it up.
Right. Something I also realize that you're saying is sometimes just take action, right? Even if you're in a state of inaction and you just want to lay there because you're not feeling good about yourself or the situation,
Yeah.
if you could just get your ass to slide out of bed, right? Like you said, go get a fucking energy drink or whatever it is you're into.
Right.
Go to the gym, call somebody that gives you that energy.
Right.
It makes a difference,
It does.
you know?
It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So tell me tell me who you are, right? Like most people meet you
Right.
and wonder, who the hell is this guy, man?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, you're a very mysterious, interesting person, whether you know it or not. Your look, your energy, your vibe,
Right.
and then you're a musician, rhythm rug, like even just the little snippets of story you've given me, I'm just even more like, okay, so who are you?
Right.
What kind of Smurf are you, by the way?
Smurf?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like from the Smurfs?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot
What's your
all the
Smurf
different
name?
names, man.
No, you can come up with your own.
The only one that comes up in my head is Papa Smurf. I don't remember, what were the Smurfs' names. What was I gotta go back and watch that.
See, it's
That
just
was
who
my
you
show.
are. There's
Yeah.
like Jokey Smurf. There's,
Yeah, Papa's
Papa Smurf. There's Hefty Smurf who works out all the time. Music Smurf, maybe.
music. What, there was a music Smurf?
No, but
I
it can be whatever Smurf you want to be.
Right.
There was a music Smurf, huh? There had to have been a music Smurf.
You had to have been, yeah. Sometimes
Was there no music Smurf?
we got a YouTube.
We gotta get that out, man. Investigate that.
Yeah.
So tell me like who you are, man. Like if somebody was like looking at you like, who is this guy? Look, the beard, the hair, the music, like what made you you? How'd you get to this point? Tell me about your upbringing.
Yeah. So, I was born and raised in Albany, New York, and my family was born again Christians. They still are. And so I was raised hearing all this biblical music and scriptures. And so it was always like a really big thing in my life, the Bible. And it still is. So I just view it now with different eyes, But
So tell me,
go ahead.
go into that.
Go into that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so with the Bible, like I can remember, how when kids, it might sound weird, but when kids have their superheroes, this one wants to be Batman, this one wants to be, Spider-Man, but my hero was Christ. I always thought it was fascinating how he could raise the dead or open up blind eyes and then not even come back to life. I'm like, this is amazing. But
Dude, that's the OG superhero, man.
Yeah.
That's an OG Avenger right there. Seriously. It is
Yeah.
a superhero if you think about it.
right.
They didn't have Superman back then. It just the non-religious version,
Yeah.
right? Of
Right.
these religious like leaders.
Right. But then to say that would make people think, like if you've seen a little child standing in front of the mirror and saying, I'm Superman. They'd be like, oh yeah, you are Superman. They say, I'm Batman. Yeah, you are. But they say, I'm Christ. They say, oh, no.
Right.
Don't say that. But why?
Right.
Why do that to the child? To limit them? Because if you look at, so the way I look at the Bible now is like, you look at the name Christ, the Christos. It just means light or anointing, one with the understanding, a light, illuminated. And, Jesus just means Yeshua. It means I am the solution, the salvation. So the light clicks. So it's in us, and that's what I put in my music a lot. But I love all the different cultures and religions because there's nuggets of wisdom and pearls to be found in everything, even with science and just the quantum world. Just so much, like you always want to move forward in life. Carry the good stuff with you, but move forward. Keep going forward.
Right.
So
Yeah, no, that's good. So what do you believe now?
Now I believe that I don't like to put like religious terms on things because it boxes me in, but I believe that that within me and within you, within the cameraman, within everybody here is the perfect mind of infinite intelligence, or you would call the mind of Christ, that has the solution that can transform, well, we know in Hebrew, the name of God is I am. And so whatever you say I am about, you become. So I'm a failure. Well, you become the failure. But the perfect pattern man, the Christ man inside of you is basically saying like, whatever you want to do, just believe it, you know, and put it all on my shoulders, the infinite intelligence shoulders, and then watch how this world just reshapes itself to what you imagine, you know, because the way we bridge the so-called God and man together is through imagination. That's where the two meet. The imagination is like, it's anything is possible. Everything is imagined. Here we see it was all from somebody's imagination, but it crystallized into our reality. So nothing is impossible, and that's just where the greatest honor man can do, male or female, you know, all in between, can do, is to believe in what you are imagining, to bust through the ceiling of what reality now shows you, and dream something bigger, and then believe in it, and then watch it form, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I believe that, man. That's how our minds work. Everything that, like you said, it was ever created, these pants came from somebody's idea. They imagined it. They imagined the stitching. They drew it.
Right.
And then they fucking made it, man.
Yeah.
Right. I've been realizing lately, like, I never thought of this way, but that our minds, think about this, our minds are the most powerful virtual reality simulators
Yeah.
we've ever known and will ever known for thousands of years to come, because within a split second, Rhythm, I can think of any fucking world I want to. I can imagine anything I want. I can create a fucking movie scene in my mind that would take 20 years to produce right now if I really tap in and meditate and go into my zone.
Yeah.
That's why prayer, meditation, spending time with yourself, self-awareness, visualization, a vision board, all that shit works.
Yeah.
The secret works. Putting your thoughts in the universe works. Why? Because you fucking envisioned it on your virtual reality simulator. And once you do, you have a way of manifesting, because you go, ooh, there's some thread I could use for those pants. Oh shit, you know?
Right.
Well, what if I did want to make those pants? How do I reverse engineer that shit?
Right.
And you start thinking, well, I need a machine, right? You got to envision it and believe it.
Right. Envision, believe. Yeah.
That's it, man. You have a direction and confidence, you're going to get there.
Right.
I agree. Everything's possible.
Yeah.
It's interesting because our philosophies are actually so aligned.
Right.
And yet I consider myself totally non-religious only because I cannot logically proclaim that any belief is right, even my own. Even
Right.
my own, I constantly doubt and question.
Right.
I've just come to realize, and I love tapping into, like you said, all the wisdoms that religions have to offer us, because a lot of them are life principles. A lot of the stuff in the Bible and the Torah are life principles learned by the masters. Like, hey, don't kill your neighbor. Hey, good idea, right? Let's be nice to each other. That's a good rule, because you want people to be nice to you. You make them feel good. They make you feel good. Boo, it's a beautiful circle versus a vicious cycle, right?
Right. Right.
So these things, so I try to take from religion, from other people, from everyone, even somebody that might be closed-minded about something. I want to understand them.
Yeah.
Plus, I can maybe help them understand something different if I can connect with their way of thinking. But there's a lot of gems to take from every, major religion.
Right.
I just don't want to subscribe to any one.
Yeah.
I just think of it in terms of, what do I know through my own limited, singular perspective experience I've had in this game, this
Right.
life, this simulation, whatever the fuck it is,
Right.
right? And that's all I really know. And I know first of all, I know that all this could be made up. This could be a simulation anyway, so none of it matters. Not the science, not the books, nothing.
Yeah.
But assuming, okay, I'm experiencing something, and assuming that whatever this is, it is my world now,
Right.
right? I just look at the patterns and the truths, like the instincts of man and woman, the instincts of, humans versus animals, all the different teachings,
Right.
take them all into account and just tell yourself the truth. You already know the truth. Like, the truth is we don't know shit, right?
Right.
But the truth also is that anything's possible. This could be a game that when it's over, we go, hey, there you are. Fuck. You ready to run it again? Let's run that shit again. Oh, I definitely want to turn off the like self-conscious button, man. I want to fucking ride this shit again. Like, you don't know.
Yeah.
So to me, that gives me hope without being religious. I think the problem with atheists, here's the thing, man. Atheists are just as ignorant to me as somebody that claims to know that one religion is the only answer to
Right.
me, because you're not being open to the fact that you don't know. Yours is written by man just like someone else's is written by man. You know, we don't even believe shit we read in the papers today.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to take it all with a grain of salt and make up your own religion, which is what you've done, man.
Yeah.
Every single person on the face of this earth has their own customized religion, whether they admit it or not.
Yeah.
They all take bits of whatever they're following, and bits of it they go, well, that's kind of old. Wait a second. So you're writing your own, just like me. Mine just says, I don't know what the answer is. Maybe it's one of the religions that got it right on the head. Maybe it's neither of them.
Right.
But we're experiencing something, man. Right?
Right.
And what do we really want? What do we really want?
Right.
Right? All of us want the same things, man. We want to be heard. We want to feel important. We want to feel like we're contributing. There's certain instinctual needs in us, man.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's not really important to know what happens after we die. It isn't. And that's kind of one of the things you're saying.
Right.
You know? Just enjoy the now. The only thing you really know. Because we don't really fucking know anything.
Right.
So being good to others makes them good to you. So do that, right? Do the things that make you feel good.
Yeah. Yeah. One of my favorite verses in Proverbs, it says, when you give someone a cup of water, you shall receive back a flood. And, you know, water comes from the spiral. The inspiration is the root, you know, the root word of inspiration is spiral, which is water. So like when you inspire just one person with a little bit of inspiration, you yourself about to get a whole flood back. That's amazing to me.
See, and here's where I want to bridge religion and non-religion, because to a religious person, they say, that's great. To a non-religious person, they're going to say, oh, come on, that's just something that's said in the Bible. But the reason it's powerful, it's true when you pay attention to the patterns of this game.
Yes.
Right? Think about your best experiences. It's when you're around a group of other humans and maybe other animals where you've given them yourself and they've given it back, because there's some kind of like beautiful circle that's been created. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
I'm always trying to give to my family, my real family, which includes my friend family.
Right.
And the ones that I really connect with give me back so much more, man.
Right.
Even just being there for me in return and knowing, wow, they think I'm something, you know, good, important. That you can only really get that if you're giving. Because if you're just, you know, taking and forcing and holding money over people's head or whatever it is, you know, you're constantly watching your back.
Right.
It's a totally different feeling, man.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of the richest people I know are miserable, because they've solved the money success question, but not the relationship success question.
Right.
And a lot of times they got the money by sacrificing the other, and people don't want to be around. They're just there in case there's a waterfall of money to them, but that's about it. Once the money dries up, or they know they can't benefit from you, they're out.
They're out. Yeah. That's crazy. That's true though.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay, so go on with your story, man. Give me the details of your growing up. I'm still trying to piece it together.
Well, the vision that
Your family was religious.
right.
You started looking at it different. So how did that,
Yeah. Well,
how was it with your family?
Well, I actually didn't communicate with them for years. Well, not for years, maybe about like 2 or 3 years. Like I couldn't come to their house. I didn't want to because I thought they were idol worshipers. And, you know, like I was so extreme on my thing that I didn't even come around, you know. I felt guilty if I had a meal with them because I felt like I shouldn't be around because they believed something different. Like I was extreme with what I believed and everything.
How old were you there?
That was like 18.
Okay.
18 to like, when I was 18, that's when it all really kicked off.
So at that point, you were thinking very open-minded, like, I want to understand different religions. I want to
Yeah, well, at that point,
think openly.
I was straight Bible, Jesus, Jesus. I was in the streets at night in the hood, just preaching Jesus at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., just going around, trying to save souls as I thought it meant to save a soul.
And your family wasn't into that? They weren't as extreme.
Yeah, they weren't as, they would be like, they didn't really, they saw me starting to evolve down a different path, But then once when I started to look into like more of the ancient things of like more no New Testament, straight Torah, Old Testament, that's when I didn't even believe in Jesus anymore. I didn't even read the New Testament. I actually ripped it out of my Bible. I was just like straight Torah, straight Tanakh, like prophets and law and stuff, and took it really extreme. Like Sabbath came, Friday sunset, I'd be at the house, wouldn't come out till Saturday sunset. Like, you know, really
You-
extreme with that.
You were like really searching for yourself, man.
Yeah,
Big time.
yeah.
Hungry.
Yeah.
Why? Did you not have a connection with your like parents that much? Were they
Oh.
kind of like not super like loving, you think?
Well, no,
Like
my
why
mom
were
and
you
dad-
searching for yourself so much? What drove you?
Well, my mom and dad, I love my mom and dad. They were loving. They, you know, they are, and they're right back in New York. I love you guys, and if you're watching it. So, but I feel like I was always searching for God. God was always a big thing in my mind. Like, you know,
Why? Were you afraid of what would happen if you died? Like what drove you to want to know that? Is that just what was told to you? Like you need to find God as a little kid?
yeah, all the
And you're
time.
like, oh, I gotta find God.
I can remember my mom and dad telling me like, you got to be careful because if Christ comes back, you'll get left behind. You don't want to get left behind.
So they put that fear in you
Yeah, yeah. And
at
I'd
a
be
young age.
Yeah, yeah. I used to think like, I mean, one time my mom, the door was open in my house. The burners on the stove was on. Nobody was there. I thought the rapture happened. I was like, oh my gosh, like I got left behind, you know? So it's always been in my mind, and I took it really seriously. But then when I
That's
stopped,
powerful, man.
like, yeah,
That's powerful because that's a lot of weight for a kid that doesn't understand the world, doesn't even understand their own neighborhood yet and how it all works, plumbing and all that,
Right.
let alone the world, let alone the weight of Jesus and the end of time on your shoulders. Or like you
Yeah.
not going that's a lot of weight,
yeah.
a lot of guilt, man.
I listen to music and think I'll go to hell, you know, all my CDs.
Right.
Yeah, thinking I'm, you know, stuff like that. But then I just had a burning desire to like know more about it, and I linked up with these rappers out in Schenectady, and they were like 16 to 19, and these were like street dudes, you know, straight from ex gang members, but they were radical Jesus freaks now, if we would call ourselves.
Mhm.
And we would just be in the studio every day making music, and I make the beats for them, and you know we'd be in the studio with our Bibles and our notepads, and we'd be writing raps, reading the Bible, writing raps, reading the Bible, do shows, go all over the East Coast and perform, and then that kind of like split off, and it was like, all right, straight Old Testament, no more New Testament, and then you just start studying all these things, and then we started, you know, looking into all the other cultures of ancient Egypt and Kemet and Hinduism and all these different we started branching off that way. And then that led me to like my self branch off. So it's interesting. It's
Yeah.
like you're going one way, then it kind of splits and splits and then splits and splits. And then you realize that everything you need is inside of you.
Right. So you found your own religion, like I said.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. I mean,
But you looked and you were open-minded enough to question versus taking what was taught to you
right.
and never asking or never questioning it, man.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I don't blame people for doing that. You know what I mean? It's hard to like it requires you to question the home that you've built for yourself, the infrastructure, the foundation and all that, and you're basically saying tear it down and rebuild it. It's a big fucking undertaking, man. To even admit, yeah, my home shit. Like, what do you mean? I know what I'm talking about. I know my belief system. You know what I mean? So you were able to like slowly evolve. I did too, man. I evolved to what I am right now. I wasn't always thinking quite the way I think now. It's an evolution because you're learning, you're putting more information into the processor and then going on. But not everyone's open-minded to rethink things.
Right.
Because you kind of came from, I feel like you're a little hesitant to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
You're a little like, you wish you didn't do it or something. But I'm thinking more like, dude, you should share this because there's others that might be on that path. And that's fine, right? Maybe that is their path. That maybe go, oh shit, that's what's missing. I need to question it more.
Yeah. Yeah. Question.
Maybe they question everything, dude, right?
Yeah, everything. Well, that was one thing that stopped me. There was a verse in the Bible that whenever I began to question things and I would bring it to people, they'd say, Well, don't be like a doubting man. A man who doubt. They quote a scripture that says, "A man who doubts is like the wave of the sea, tossed to and fro. He knows not which way he's going." So I'm thinking like, oh, if I doubt what I'm reading here, what they're telling me about this, then I'm like a wave of the sea. I have no direction. I shouldn't even bring it up. So that stops you from questioning,
Controlling,
but not
man.
question everything.
Right.
Everything.
See, that's the problem, man. These teachings are also created to control and make you feel guilty and anxious, and that's made up, man.
Yeah.
Animals don't have to feel guilt.
Right.
They just do. They just are. And our instincts are good. Our instincts aren't bad. Our instincts are not to kill each other at all.
Right.
No. Chimpanzees don't murder each other, man. That's not normal.
Right.
That's a fucked up chimpanzee, man.
Yeah.
You know, we got to look at that. What's causing that? Our society isn't set up properly. We need more programs. We need more, emotional intelligence classes in our elementary schools, whatever.
Right.
Teach people how to survive this fucking game, man.
Yeah.
Emotionally. Forget
Yeah.
the fucking, math and English for a second. People are fucking dying, man.
Right.
They don't even know they can go be a musician or a writer or a radio show host. How do you even find out if that's something you want to do?
Right.
If you grow up in the fucking hood or in the projects or whatever, how are you supposed to know that?
Right. Right.
So that's why I'm just saying, like, I think you should share that because it's your truth, it's your story, and it's someone else's story right now. That
Right.
you could help. We're not going to change everybody, but you might inspire somebody to question and get out of a really bad situation.
Right.
Because that's controlling, man. It's limiting. It's a
Yeah.
prison. It's a mental prison. Because then, once you get somebody to believe that they're bad, you can make them do anything.
Right. Yeah.
You're going to have to stay in this house forever.
Wow.
Mop the floors every day if you want to be forgiven for what you've been doing, listening to music, you devil worshiper, right?
Right.
I mean, look, man, I don't know the answers. I just know that there's so many theories out there that
Right.
you'd have to be, it's more likely to win the lottery than for anyone to know how you're going to be judged when you die, man.
Right.
Nobody fucking knows.
Right.
And if somebody says they know, there's 1,000 others saying they know too. So which one?
Right.
Which one do I believe? So,
Yeah.
just be you, figure it out, question everything.
Right.
When I started questioning everything, and I wasn't even that extreme,
Mm-hmm.
I realized I let go so much guilt and anxiety out of my life.
Mm.
I had so much guilt, man. When I got divorced, that I'm such a bad person, that I failed my family, and I had to carry that for years. I left
Right.
I abandoned my kids, even though I'm taking care of them half the time. I felt that shit heavy, dude.
Mm.
Why? Why? Was it because people were putting that on me? It was all me, man.
Right.
I took that shit.
Yeah.
If I decided, nah, fuck that, I'm doing my best. This is okay.
Right.
You don't know what's gonna happen in this game. Don't have expectations that it's gonna be a certain way. You don't know.
Right.
I thought I'd get married and we stay together. That's just how it's gonna be. You don't know what's gonna happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Just
Just play, baby. Enjoy the
Play.
moment. Yeah, just play.
go out and play. Right.
Play and do your thing so you can be productive and so you don't, you can make some money.
Right.
But you're gonna make more money doing what you love anyway, because you're gonna have to grind that shit.
Yeah.
You gotta
Right.
grind to make money, man.
Yeah.
To make real money.
Well, what really helped like kick off my music career, was when I realized I counted all my songs that I had in my computer that unreleased. It was like about 125 songs. And I said, this is currency right here. Like this needs to get out. So I started releasing a single every single Friday. And I told myself I'd do it. And so for at least the rest of the year, every single Friday, I've been putting out a song, like good, high quality song. And now it's coming to the point where I'm not even dipping in my catalog. I'm just writing new songs in the beginning of the week and knocking it out by Friday. And so, but what it's doing to my Spotify and my other platforms is it's just, as my manager John would say, it went 2,200% increase. So just in a matter of like a month, and I'm seeing the fruits of it. But at the same time, me and John and even my little brother, we have like what we call a mastermind group where we are able to visualize the future with affirmations and keeping each other emotionally like high frequency, because that's everything. Like we all know,
Right.
that, we all know. Actually, John was one of the friends that I studied the scriptures with. So it's funny to reconnect with him now, and now we're on the same mindset. Where like, bro, out of your mind, mind power is really
Right. See,
where
that's the
it's
kind
at.
of stuff. I don't need to know the exact science. Just study the patterns, right?
Study, yeah.
Like look at the results of people that take the time to visualize. Like now I'm realizing meditation, prayer, all that stuff, it's related. It's just time with yourself to
Yeah.
visualize what you want to create.
Right.
That's it. And if you don't take the time to do that, which I used to never have time for myself, I was always distracted by something, TV, books, talking, to sit on your own and like, okay, what do I want to solve? What do I want to become? What do I want to create? And you can it actually works.
It does. Yeah.
It seems silly, but that's how you start. And then you start being self-aware. Okay, am I like taking action? Wait, I'm being, lazy right now. Should I take some action? Whatever it is, just be aware of yourself. And it starts growing. It starts building like a snowball, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you don't always get to the exact destination. You rarely actually get to the exact destination. You didn't know you were going to be right here doing a podcast with that exact beard, with that exact hair. You evolved into this beautiful thing,
Thank you.
right?
Yeah.
I didn't know either. I had no idea. Most of the things I did, no idea. I didn't know this was going to even be the podcast when we started the podcast. We started over there. We started with like, oh, do we do a clip? Whatever. You just figure it out as you go, man.
Right. Yeah.
Follow your instinct. Go for what attracts you. Like you said, if you put in the work, the results come. That's just the pattern of this game, man. Whether you believe in God or you believe in meditation or you believe in whatever, the universe,
Right.
that shit works, man.
It works.
That positive energy, visualization, and you don't have to do it any one way. That's the key. That's what I realized. Customize it for yourself. Question everything. What works for you? Do that. Right? If it's sitting there going, universe, I want to meet a great person in my life. Okay, then do that shit. If it's writing in a journal, if that works for you, do, as long as you take the time with yourself, go for a walk.
Yeah.
Close your eyes, not for too long so you don't run into a tree, but
Right.
think about shit.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Tap into your virtual reality simulator, man.
Mm-hmm.
This powerful fucking, it's like better than the goggles. We forget. We're like, whoa, look at these goggles. Wow, this is such a cool world. Bro, it's one little fixed world they created for you. And it is cool that some guy created that or some woman created that.
Right.
But have you forgotten the shit you can visualize in your own fucking brain?
Right.
It's just it's like fish breathing in water. We're like, whatever, that's just normal. No, man.
Right.
Use that shit. Don't forget.
Yeah.
This is where it all begins. Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Einstein, musicians, Tupac, boom, all right here. I'm gonna write a fucking song. Yeah. I'm gonna be a fucking philosopher, rapper. And then they manifest it and it becomes something. You never know what, but you're never gonna know unless you fucking just do it.
Right.
Just go toward it, do it, manifest it, believe that it's gonna happen. Trick yourself, doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah. That's true. That's true. Because then you're gonna get new ideas on that journey. It's just
Of
like,
course.
yeah.
People think they have to have, well, how do you, I don't know. Quick story.
Yeah.
I became a film producer out of corporate America, right? I wanted to get out of corporate and people go, just a few small movies, independent production company, no big deal, right? But people ask me, well, how do you do it? Like, how do you get into the film production world?
Right.
And it's like, oh, it's easy. And they're like, oh yeah, what? I'm like, yeah, are you ready? You can write it down. Yeah, I'm ready. All right, step one, take step one. They're like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, step one. They're like, what's step one? I go, whatever the fuck you want it to be. It doesn't fucking matter. Call someone. I want to make a movie. Call a buddy. Get a fucking camera. Start recording on your fucking phone. It doesn't matter. It'll manifest as you go.
Right.
If you want it and you keep putting your attention to it, it's like a snowball, man. It just grows, whether you like it or not. That's really what I did. I called a guy. I called some dude I used to work with that mentioned movie production. I'm like, hey, dude, I want to make a movie. And I know it sounds crazy. What do you think? He's like, oh, yeah. I'm working on this documentary. Why don't you guys come and check it out? One thing led to another, man. And that was it.
Sure.
And then eventually I found partners and I joined their company and so on.
Perfect. Yeah. Yep.
Right? Like, how'd you become a musician?
Yeah, I was just making beats all day long growing up in high school. Like, that's what I did. And then the beats, and I met other artists, rappers for the beats. And then I realized I'm the artist. That
Right.
took a while to realize.
So this is just a new realization for the last, what, year?
I've been Rhythm Rug since 2014.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's when you realized you were going to be your own artist.
Yeah.
But you're still working with other artists.
That's when I took my split. But now I work with other artists every now and then. I'm still picky about who I work with just because I want to keep focusing on my own brand. But every now and then I do collaborate with different artists, like Interstellar.
Right.
I'm working on stuff with him and different people here and there,
Right.
different singers and stuff.
Okay, so what's the plan for you, man? What's your goal with your music? What do you wanna do with
So the goal is, to get that Grammy and to be a Grammy-winning recording artist and producer, and to keep pumping out these singles every single Friday. I got a video coming out called Perpetua, and I actually have my mother and father singing the backup vocals on the track.
it? Wow.
It sounds dope. And that's gonna drop late April, because I'm waiting for the video guy to get done editing it. That's gonna be it's a big hit right now in Sweden, actually. It's like,
Really?
yeah, it blew up in Sweden. So
Awesome, man. So if somebody wants to check out your stuff, where do they go?
yeah, well, my Instagram is Rhythm Rug Music. So RHYTHM and then Rug Music, MUSIC, or my website rhythmrug.com.
Nice.
That's where I put everything. That's the home base.
So when's the Grammy coming? What's the prediction? Let's
Grammy-
manifest this.
Grammy? I would say 2022
2022 Grammy.
Yeah.
That's next year.
next year.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Do you already know when? Is there an album coming out that you think
Well-
that you're working on already?
Song of the year.
Song of the year.
Yeah. Song of the year.
Do you already have the song?
Yeah.
You do.
Yes.
Can you share anything
It's-
about it?
It's called Fantasize. I actually won a competition out in Brooklyn for it. I came, it was funny because I was at this showcase and everybody's music was like, it was like trap and hip hop and stuff. And mine has influences of that, but it wasn't that sound. So I was afraid that like nobody would feel it. And then when I performed, it just blew up. And I remember standing there in the audience and he's like, the third place goes to, the second place goes to, and I'm like, oh, I didn't make those two cuts. So I was like, I wonder if I'm going to make it. And then all of a sudden he said, and the first place winner, I think we all can agree that this man came with a whole new sound, a different genre, and a great vibe. My man, Rhythm Rug. And it just like blew up. So
Let's go.
yeah.
I
So
love
that got me interviews with like Atlantic Records. I'm talking to Rock Nation right now. So I've been dealing with a few labels, but I'm going to more likely stay independent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just keep it. Build a team,
Yes.
Build
The
a
longer you can hold on to your own brand,
Yeah.
the more it's going to be worth later on. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
If they get you early, they're going to want a lot. But but it's harder to establish yourself because you don't have the connections and the distribution that a label might.
Right.
But now is the time, man.
Yeah.
The independent route is now, man.
Yeah.
Never been easier than in today's, industry.
Right. Exactly. You look
That's
at Russ.
cool, man.
Russ. He's a rapper. Russ
Mhm.
RUSS. That's what he did. He dropped a single every Friday, but by the end of the year, he was making $1 million a month just off his streaming.
Right. Well, I was going to comment that the thing that impressed me the most when you were so far about your career is how you started doing it consistently. Because once you said that, it's like you said, man, you give it enough attention, it grows.
Yeah.
Of course, you got to have some talent and you got to work at it and all that stuff. But, I think that's the key, man, is like a lot of musicians come out and they think they're going to make a hit record or a hit song one day,
Right.
but they're not putting stuff out there. Like,
Yeah.
you got to put stuff out. You got to be a musician, Smurf, man. Like, actually put music out daily, weekly, not once every 3-4 months thinking this one's going to hit. You need that feedback. You
Yeah.
need to constantly get that feedback from your audience so you can grow and become better.
Right.
And I'm just saying, a lot of people don't realize that. Like actors, they're waiting for that big part, but they're not posting on TikTok. Why aren't you posting on TikTok?
Right.
I'm not going to mention names, but I'm just saying, right?
Right.
Like, why? And deal with that. Is it a confidence thing? Then figure that out, because that's what's going to stop you. And so the mental game is 80%, man. So once you have the confidence to put yourself out there like you're doing and to
Right.
like embrace yourself the way you're doing, all of it, man.
You're right.
I think you're on your way to something.
Thank
I mean, you're already doing it, man. That's what I'm saying. It's not like to think you're on your way is not the right way. It's I am.
I am. Yeah, the I am.
The I am.
I am.
Right.
Yeah. That's like my new song I dropped this Friday is called last Friday is called Do You Believe in Me? And if you look at the artwork of the image, it's actually the Hebrew Yad He Vav He, the Yahweh, but it's stacked, so it looks like a man because it's the letters, but they're
Oh,
on
shit.
fire. Yeah, if instead of right to left, you stack them, it looks like a human.
Oh wow.
Yeah, head, spine, everything, and then there's a raven flying through the rainbow connect, and then like it's flying to the I am. So that's the way I interpret the cover of that is what you say you are. So I say I am a Grammy Award winning recording artist. I am a multi-trillionaire, and I mean that. Like, let's get the money right. Let's do all these things. So we can build a better world. Now that is like the flaming lettered I am in the sky, and then here comes this raven, which is me. I'm the bird. I'm flying up to it. And I also am the I am that I am, but it's like the two are becoming one, the inner, the marriage of the heart and the mind, the two agreeing so that they can be, truly unified, fused
Right.
together. You become that new man.
Right.
You become that award-winning podcast, like big, massive success, The
Right.
success, it's funny with the word like fame, right? Fame is when the world recognizes you, but break
Right.
down the word recognizes. You're recognant. You're cognate of yourself. You're recognizing yourself. So you're remembering who you are. So naturally the world will mirror the intensity of your remembering. Yeah. So.
It's like you have to be the champion before you win the championship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's like, I think it's something that eludes me,
Right.
and that it's hard to grab for a lot of people
Right.
because it requires you to take a jump and risk embarrassing yourself and failing. And it's hard for people
Yeah.
and believing.
And
Because even
believing.
like, I'm just being honest, like doing this podcast, I'm not feeling like I am yet. And I've
Right.
been thinking about that lately. It's funny. I actually saw some post earlier this morning, same exact thing, that it's not about you're going to, it's not the right frame of mind. It's just being it. Because the results follow what you are already, not the other way around.
right.
You don't win the championship and become the champion. You become the champion and then you win the championship.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. The world.
In
yeah.
order to win, you got to play good enough.
Right.
To win, that means you got to be that thing already.
Yeah.
I don't need to wait. It's a catch-22, right?
Right.
Chicken and the egg. Do I become a 1 million subscriber podcast or do I act like a 1 million subscriber podcast and then the 1 million subscribers come? That's
Right.
what happens.
That's what happens.
They don't come to you are without them being there yet, right?
Right.
You got to make the hit song before you're a hit artist
Right.
and believe in yourself enough to like create that art.
Right.
Because if you don't, you're gonna fuck it up. It's not gonna come out of you genuinely enough.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's
For artists especially, man, like art is elusive
right.
because we're so in our heads,
Mm-hmm.
we can't connect truly with our artistic creation, like our artistic expression. Like you want to make a song, if you're constantly going, I don't know, is this gonna be good enough? Are people gonna like this beat? Is this what they want?
Right.
It's not gonna hit.
Right.
It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's not how this game works. You have to be like paying attention to the rhythms that are out there and what is out there already, the song, the music that you've been exposed to, but then just give yourself to the art and not really care what people think. You kind of
Yeah.
it has to be your expression.
Yeah.
It can only be your expression.
Right.
And if you don't tap into it fully, you're cheating the art and it's gonna fall flat because people are gonna recognize that it's not real.
Right. No, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So this Fantasize song,
Oh yeah. Fantasize.
is that,
yeah.
do you feel like you connected with that one? Like
Yeah.
when you wrote it?
I wrote it. Was that? the
Did you
lesson?
feel like you 100% connected with that song when you wrote it? Were you like, oh my
Yeah.
God? Or were you like,
No, it was that feeling. Right
Cool.
when I played the chords, dun, 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 it just like connected, and I felt it. See, when I make my music, I don't even try to think of the lyrics. Like I feel it. Once I feel it right here, I know I'm on it. Like, and then the words just flow. But if I don't feel it right there, I just don't even write to it. But the second I heard the chords, I knew, okay, look out at the world that's before my eyes. I just knew like okay, this is it right here. And then the drums came in, and the guy from the host of the event, he said after the show was over, he was like, yo, when I heard the music drop, it was like 80s retro sound. But then when I heard your drums, blew me out the water. I did not think your drum, like I did not expect a rhythm like that. I've never heard nothing like that. That's what blew me out the way. But you know where I messed up? I got invited to go to Miami to the big showcase to win 50 grand. And when I went out there to Miami, I overthought it. And I said, okay, I'm at Miami now. I got to make a brand new song for Miami, something real good for Miami, right? So I came out to Miami, didn't have the same song. And it was the same host from Brooklyn, right? So when he introduced me, he was excited to introduce me. And then after I performed my song, he realized it wasn't fantasized. He said indirectly, but I knew what he meant. He said, you guys got hits on your hands. Don't retire your hits too soon. Don't retire them too soon. And I just knew exactly. And then I was talking with other people, and a lot of us did that. We changed our song up from our individual cities that we won the showcase. We made a new special song. And so it just taught me, like, don't overthink it,
man.
Yeah. Rock with it. You won it in Brooklyn, you'll win it here.
You're good enough. Go with your shit.
Yeah.
The thing you connected with. Because if it's not good enough, you don't want it anyway.
Right.
Because you want to get there on your merit so you can keep making hit songs. If it's not who you are, why do you want to? It's hard to not want it, though. People want the success.
Right.
But like, it's a catch-22, man.
Yeah.
You got to do it your way. You got to be true to yourself
Right.
as an artist in order to really connect, especially nowadays. Even if it's a TikTok channel,
Right.
it's got to be who you are, like down to the core. And then you choose maybe the part of you that you want to put out there.
Right.
But it still has to be you. It's got to be your story, man. It's got to be your song.
Right.
That's interesting. Thanks for sharing that, man. That's really interesting how everybody was like, oh shit, I got to do something better. What I did wasn't good enough. The thing that I got here on, my song, isn't good enough all of a sudden because now I got to make it good enough for Miami. Miami's just the same fucking people.
Right.
Just bigger stage.
That's so
But
true.
I get you, man. I did it so many times in my life, man. Overthinking. Oh, I gotta. And then you fucking tighten up and miss the free throw. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah.
But you learned.
Yeah. Yep.
And now you're more ready than ever. You know what I mean? And maybe, like, it already happened, so that wasn't the time for your song to blow.
Right.
Now, you could do it the right way.
Yeah. That's why I haven't released it. I'm just waiting. I'm dropping other songs because this one is going to be done right. Like video right.
So that one, it's not released yet.
It's not out. I've been holding that. It's been in the vault.
Got it.
I perform it sometimes at different showcases, but I'm not going to drop it until.
Now, is it original right now? The one that
original.
you're not touching it now?
Yeah. I'm just.
All right.
Yeah, I'm holding on to that.
Yeah.
Until I do another video. I'll do a video for it and it'll be dope.
And
It's going to be a lot of CGI. But
oh, yeah?
yeah.
For the video?
Yeah.
For Fantasize?
Yeah.
Is there going to be an NFT drop that comes out of it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
Did you think about that? You should
Just
totally
right now.
do it. I mean, like, build it into the whole thing, man.
Right.
It's more than a song.
Right.
Maybe the song is good enough on its own, but does it have to be just a song? Maybe it's a story. The video is a story. Maybe it's also a piece of art that you sell on.
Yeah.
You sell as an NFT. You release like a limited edition, 1,000 copies, and then you keep 100 for yourself because when you blow the roof off of this thing and they become worth $1 million each, then you got 100 of them, right? And 900 out there.
Yeah.
Unique serial numbers, all that stuff. I'm just saying, like,
That's
the
a
whole
great
thing,
idea.
man.
Yeah.
The whole thing. But make the NFT really something special.
Right.
Make it to benefit something you want to put back into the community, right? Your own charity or some charity you're going to work with. Or
Yeah.
I think it's got to be that. It's got to be a real, genuine movement.
Right.
I think the mistake I think some people are making with NFTs is they're thinking, let's jump on the bandwagon and just make something, which is maybe works too, but that I think if you can figure out the real vehicle, what it really is for you,
Right.
like why are you doing it? What's the money for? and it has to be true to you. Maybe it's to benefit, a group of people, whatever it is,
Yeah.
and make it a real part of the art too.
Yeah.
Somehow.
One of my
Beautiful art, of course.
right. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, exactly. Well, one of the things I definitely am planning to do is I got a whole business plan of cleaning up. I'm gonna go into the cities, right? And basically you need the psychological healing, but also like get people off the street, not just get them off the street, but like have it where you have like I don't want to go into the whole layout of the plan really, but
Yeah.
you get the people off the street, you say, all right, what do you want to keep? What possession you want to throw out? So they can kind of declutter their own personal life. Like in Skid Row, I go through Skid Row a lot and I see and I talk to the people there, and so then you get them inside like you have like these the 18-wheeler bed trucks. You have different showers for the males and for the females. Boom. Now you make sure first thing, go ahead in there, clean your bodies up, get clean. Here's 7 days work a week of 7 days of clothing, fresh new clothing for you. You can live in this unit, this pod right here, but you got to work for your soap and for your shampoo, and if you don't get your soap and shampoo, then you got to be out. So it kind of like gives them something to motivate them. Something simple: soap, shampoo, toothpaste, and then you do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. And then you just and if anybody hears this and takes the idea, run with it, like do it, go for it,
Right.
because it's gonna help us all. And then what you do then is you constantly have like the right type of content pumping in the airwaves in the house, like motivational stuff or like interviews like this or things that people can hear while they're just walking throughout the house and stuff like that. You make sure the tone is right. Go ahead.
No,
Yeah.
no. I'm sorry, man. I'm like excited because Josh already knows what I'm going to say. This is like, we're totally aligned here, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably haven't seen like my interview with Ben, my son, who'll be here. They'll be here soon.
Cool.
You'll see him in person, but like he and I are planning to do something with, we've gone out and fed homeless and volunteered in Skid Row and stuff like that and brought socks but we want to like start doing something to help them get back on their feet,
Yeah.
sustainability,
Right.
help them get jobs, create a program. People offer jobs to people that come through the program.
Right.
The organization we work with, Midnight Mission,
Okay.
they have this building right on Skid Row, and they have a cafeteria, and they have like a one floor is like dorms,
Right.
and they have this program. So the cafeteria is run by homeless Skid Row tenants that they took in, and they went through their drug rehab. And if they left, they had strict rules, like you had to be there, curfew. But if you left, you could leave, but you're out of the program for 6 weeks minimum or whatever. It's hardcore, and people would work there, and then if they did well, they would graduate to a dorm and have their own dorm room. And eventually they had like, they'd get to the dorm room first. If they graduated that, they have like little apartments at the top, like your own apartment. And then a lot of the management there were, off of Skid Row for like 15, 16 years, man.
Yeah,
Used to
beautiful.
be down and out and are running the place, running the cafeteria.
Wow.
Became chefs, became, hospitality managers.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they found something they were motivated by, that they were passionate. The best attitudes, man.
Right.
You go there, hey, what's up, man? Like, just super positive because they changed their mindset along the way somehow.
Yeah.
But we want to do that too. And one of the things Ben and I talked about, we have like some even old video, man, where we're like, okay, Ben, what are we going to do? How are we going to help? And he's like, showers. And I'm like, all right, hey. And I'm like, good idea. Let's rent like a big, RV bus that has showers.
Right.
You clean them up. Maybe we get donated clothing, get them some job interviews, or just get them cleaned up, feel good, talk to them, see what they might be motivated by, what they want to try, and try to hook them up with part-time jobs or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In a field they're excited about. Because I feel like, you got to have a reason to change.
Right. Right.
You can't just be like, come on, clean it up. Like,
No,
why?
yeah.
Why should I?
Right.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
Right?
The person has to find hope within themselves.
Right.
And that's not to deviate off it, but people I know, like before they pass, they feel worthless, or like you know, a lot, or sometimes, you know, after people retire, they don't know what they're going to do in life. Normally, like 2 or 3 years down the road, that's when they make their exit. But they don't have to. Like, find something new that you're passionate about.
Right.
You got to have a vision. Just like in the Bible, it says, if there's no vision, my people perish. That's one of my favorite verses, because why perish when all you got to do is have a vision, and then, you know, boom, now you're prolonging your life. You're actually renewing your strength. You're renewing your youth. You're motivating other people. You're setting them on fire. You know, we need to. It's our obligation as each other's, you know, keeper.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
And like I said, it works,
It
man.
works.
If you don't have that vision, to me, it's like you can break it down to science. We're instinctual, right? We're tribal. So we want to help our tribe. We want to feel like we are useful. Like you're either cooking or you're cleaning or you're protecting. And if you got nothing going for you, like, it's not a good feeling. It's not what, I don't think people choose that. You know, they just fall into that.
Right.
So you got to help people find something like, oh shit, I want to do that. Some kind of like something that sparks something in them. And I think everybody has that.
Right.
Whatever it is, like drawing, music, farming, you know, landscaping, engineering. I don't know. Like, I just think people aren't exposed and don't have opportunities in their life a lot of times, and fall into, you know, drugs or something else to get that high that they can't find in life.
Right.
Something that makes them feel good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not easy though, man. But I definitely feel like I want to take my extra time to help the ones that are struggling the most.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
because you don't
we
know.
should do something, man.
We definitely should collaborate. Could work together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like with your music, the charity work, there's collab opportunities, artists, the artist community.
Right.
Even, I think I told you, my partner and I are working on launching a whiskey brand.
Yes.
Right. We're deep in it. We already, you know, have raised money. We're already designing the labels, and so it's happening.
Right.
Like by fall, like in the next 6 months.
Perfect.
But like, it's going to be an LA brand, artist centric, story forward, and all the things I'm talking about are part of that brand. Like, because the brand is your identity.
Right.
You know, it's not about like a commercial brand. I mean, yeah, you got to think about it that way too, but it should be tied to your identity so you can sustain it and and the customers will know if it's not.
Right.
So this is all in our business plan, like doing charity work, specifically the finding sustainable solutions for the homeless crisis,
right,
instead of ignoring it, right?
Right.
Shouldn't be stepping over bodies, man. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're right.
Like, and we all do it because you got to live your day-to-day life, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't like take some time to form a committee and figure this shit out. Like, let's have some more services, you know, more drug rehab services, better policies, opportunities to learn a trade. I don't know.
Right.
Convert the fucking half the university campuses can just be converted to like rehab centers.
That's true.
USC.
Yeah.
Hey, not to call US. I keep calling USC out, but can't they just like can't they just join UCLA? People are doing online education anyway. You don't need 2 big campuses, and then the USC campus could be a rehab center. Imagine that shit.
That's perfect.
With fucking buildings dedicated to like mental health, career center, right?
Right. Right.
Housing,
Yes.
dorms, rules. Got to earn.
Right.
You got to earn. You got to work your way up to like, a 3-hour work day, a 5-hour, whatever it is.
Right.
You want to go volunteer and talk to underprivileged children? If that's your bag, we got that for you. We got volunteer. You can go tell your story and help someone steer clear of, mistakes, let's say. Or you want to go start a garden, or you want to make music. We got a studio. You can come hang out in the studio. Hey, maybe you got some kind of talent for mixing music, right? But you're going to have to clean and sweep.
Right.
You're going to have to earn your shit. That's kind of, that's the way I want to teach my kids. You got to earn your way, but let's figure out what you want to do. I'm not going to force you,
Right.
They're way hard. They work way harder when they're doing some shit they think they want to do. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Fine. You want to play video games? Fine. Start streaming, make it a profession, and work out and shit. they get motivated real quick when it's something they want to do, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's a great way of like
Yeah.
utilizing their gifts. 'Cause that's gonna make them a lot of money too. And
Right.
it's gonna build them. set
Instead
them
of
up for
fighting them
success.
on it. Right.
Right.
No, you're going to play the piano. Oh, okay, you're going to be a decent, I'll make him into a decent piano player if I force him. He's never going to make money playing the piano because he hates it, right? As an example.
Right.
Someone might love the piano, but the point is you got to expose people, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's a problem with our education system. These are people that fell through the fucking cracks, man.
Right.
So it really also, we also need to, I think, focus on the education system to catch people early. When people are in elementary school, before they stop going to school, give them some like confidence lessons, like, hey, you're good enough, like emotional intelligence shit.
Right.
Forget the fucking ABCs for a second, man. That's not going to necessarily help them if they feel like shit and they're going to turn to drugs.
Right.
It's not going to help them.
Yeah. That's true.
Don't skip the fucking self-worth stuff and, hey, watch YouTube videos until you find some shit you're excited about. If there's nothing else you're going to do for yourself, do that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Find something. Find something.
Yeah.
Most don't. They're just, they're not good in school. They're told they're stupid and they slip through the cracks, man.
Yeah.
Hey, fucking deliver this bag for me and you part of the family. Shit.
Right.
I got nothing else going for me. Might as well.
Right. Yo, speaking of teaching and stuff, because you brought me back, I used to be I taught a class at a charter school in New York, and it was an after school program, and I taught the kids how to make beats, and they were from kindergarten to like 4th grade. And I remember the faculty saying to me, like, all right, well, you could do it however you want to do it, like instruct the children. But there's this one student named such and such. Watch out for him because he's doing really bad in school. He doesn't pay attention. So naturally, so I got in the class and I realized how like they were loving. I taught them how to make beats and I had a big speaker. So some didn't want to know how to make beats. Some just wanted to dance. So I said, you want to dance? You don't got to worry about it. Go dance. Like, and they just be dancing around the room, dancing. And the one kid they warned me about, he was the most like, he asked me the most questions. Like, so how do you do that? How are you making that sound? How are you recording this? Like, he was watching everything I was doing. And I could tell he was the most focused on it because he was passionate about it. And then just from that after school program, his grades went up, his focus in class went up, everything went up, and
give them a reason to learn math, man.
Yeah.
Say, hey, you want to make beats? You're going to have to fucking keep a ledger. You're going to have to pay bills. So you're still going to have to learn some math and science and English, right?
Right.
Then you got a reason to study, not we'll just fucking learn it because I tell you.
Right.
That's a beautiful story, man. Imagine how many kids slip through the cracks. Maybe he's going to become a musician now, but if he had never gotten exposed to it and they kept telling him how he's bad, treating him like he's bad, instead of finding what he loves to do, man.
But that's the teachers were like, well, you can't go to rhythms class if you don't pay attention. So like he was on it, like even his mom came in and thanked me and stuff. So it was cool.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
That is beautiful. Dude, let's I think we should do this again.
Yeah.
But let's wrap with a couple of quick topics, man.
Okay.
What's the best advice you would give, somebody? What would be the number one advice you'd give yourself as a young man? If you could go back.
Everything, you alone are the power. Everyone has the power in them, but you have the power in you. And there's no such, in my mind, there's no two powers. There's one power that's operating this whole simulation. So, and it's operated by love. So just always remind yourself that there's only one power, and sometimes you get paranoid about things or you get fearful about things. You remember that you are the power. I am the power, and that I am perfect love, and the love will cast away the fear. And then now you're free again to be joyful and to create and to, live your life. But just to remember that there's one power, and that's you, that you're the power. A lot of times people be like, well, they did it, or the government, all that stuff. They're just people. And love, when you send the love first for yourself and you cultivate it, then you send it to them too. Because then, I don't want to always bring up the Bible a lot, but it does play a big part in my mind wave. It says that a man's enemies are those of his own household. And that's what made me separate from my family, that scripture. But then I realized that a man's enemies of the own, if I'm the body of God, you're the body of God, temple of God, and a man's enemies are of his own household, his own temple, then my own thoughts and feelings are those enemies. There's no enemy outside of myself that I have to go and fight or keep away from. I need to be agreement with my heart and my mind. So yeah, and then all the enemies, when a man's ways please the Lord, the I am, he makes his enemies be at peace with him. So like anybody that you might be having a problem with, you can just doing the inner work will straighten all that out. They can easily they'll easily transform to reflect and mirror back what you're sending out to them. So it's cool. I guess that was elongated, but yeah.
No, that's
The
good,
one
man.
power.
I love that. I mean, look, we all think our own way, man, and like it's interesting how you thinking about it. You quote Bible, but like I said, there's a lot of lessons in the Bible that have proved true. But the things you said, I've come to without religion too,
Right.
like through just watching patterns. Like as long as I was focusing on other people and blame, like, well, he talked to me that way. Nah, it was me.
Right.
Because I'm putting out a certain energy and they're insecure and defensive too. So if I'm putting out like an aggressive energy, they're going to be defensive to me. Once I changed myself and started empathizing with people and being like, okay, they're having a bad day, whatever, it completely changed the way people reacted to me. Like I used to get in so many fights and I would always have an excuse like, well, yeah, but the person said this or this happened. There was always a reason, but now I realize it was all avoidable because I was putting out that energy too. Like if somebody bumped in, I was looking to see if they were going to be irritated at me and I would put that energy out and it would turn into something.
Right.
But like you said, it all starts with you, man. Once you take responsibility
Right.
and just don't waste your time playing victim. Like, because you can't control as long as you're the victim, you don't have control.
Right.
They did this to me. They did it. Take control and just take action, man, and create whatever you want. Manifest it. It's hard to manifest shit when you're in the victim state.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it is. It zaps you.
And it's easy to fall in.
Right.
Even if you're aggressive, you could be an aggressive victim. Like, hey, da 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 da, it's all this. But what are you doing to get yourself out of it? Right? Take action.
Right. Right.
Starts with a positive attitude, looking for opportunities, all that stuff, man.
That's true.
Good shit, man.
Yeah. Good stuff.
All right. Well, we got to talk about our plans, man.
Yeah.
We got to do some shit with the charity work.
Yeah. No, we got to do that.
How are you? Are you doing anything now with that, or?
No, but I have the plan together. Like
Yeah.
I have it on paper, and how it would sustain itself. It would really work too. You just got to get the right people together that own the properties, and
Yeah.
But it could work because then the people that are living there you give them a 6-month time frame to stay there, but then they gotta be able to like you go then hook them up. You get them from out that big box of like roommate stuff to get them in their own spot. So it's like it's steps to it and stages, but think about all the people in Skid Row and other parts that they got genius ideas in their head that they're gonna go out and change the world with. It's like everyone has a gold mine in them. And a lot of times when I YouTube, like people, they'll say things like, no, the government wants them to be on, it may make money off it, the city make money off it. Nah, man, I don't buy into that either. I feel like you can't go wrong when everyone's flourishing and using their gifts. You can't go wrong.
Right.
Can't go wrong.
I agree, man.
Can't go wrong. So
It's like the beehive thing, man. Like when I look at like certain animals, like bees and ants, like
right.
all of them have a role.
Yeah.
They're all flourishing,
Right.
right?
I love that analogy.
So how did we fuck that up?
Right.
Like if you look at other tribal animals, even like chimpanzees that are the closest to us DNA wise, you don't see like homeless chimpanzees laying around, like but
Right.
we've got alcohol, we've got a lot of things that throw us off our track.
Right.
But yeah, man, it doesn't need to be that way.
Right.
It doesn't need to be that way. We should at least do, I want to do something to even the playing field, balance it out.
Right.
I don't know if we can solve it all in our lifetime, but why not, man? It's fun to do too, because it's the most fulfilling. That's why, like we were saying before, You just got to figure out what's the best way? What way do you want to help people?
Right.
Have you thought about that? It's something I've been saying too, is like any job, any paid job that a human has is essentially helping another human some way.
Right.
Like whether you're a delivery man or a farmer or a musician or an entertainer, you're helping other humans, right?
Right.
You're providing either a good or a service
Right.
of some sort. So really it's like figure out a way to, like, how do you want to help man or woman?
Right.
How do you want to serve your tribe?
Right.
That's really the question. Once you figure that out, it answers a lot of things for you. Like you said, you feel fulfilled, you feel like you're contributing, you're worthy, you're worth something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Without that, it's hard. Like you said, when you retire, it's like shit. All of a sudden, you feel like you don't have a purpose.
Right.
Having
Yeah,
that purpose is like ingrained in us, man.
Yeah.
So more important than making money. As attractive as money can be, like the purpose is much more fulfilling than money, man.
Right.
You're much more likely to be happier if you're doing something that's fulfilling than making a lot of money.
That's
Hopefully
true.
you could do both.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm a realist, man. Money is fuel.
Yeah.
It just opens things up in this game. It's like having coins, you know what I mean, in a game, in a video game. Like you can just do more shit.
You do more.
You know what I'm saying?
If not, you got to go back and get the coins.
Right.
Cling,
Cling, cling, cling, cling, cling.
Yeah, you got to get the coins. Yeah.
That's it, man. So what are you doing the rest of this week? What do you got planned?
I got a show on Thursday.
Yeah.
I got to find out the location, downtown LA. And then I'm going to an event with Free and Chill for Dr. Chill's. Shout out to Dr. Chill for his, he's dropping a book called The Art of Writing by Dr. Chill, Janae did. And
Nice.
so I'm doing that on Friday. And then, yeah, just coming out. I got
What kind of shows are you doing?
I rap, just go on and perform and stuff like that.
Like at what kind of venues?
This venue coming up is going to be a big showcase with like I think 30 other artists. So I get to perform 2 to 4 songs.
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope. So
Cool, man.
yeah, I have the
this-
information on Instagram.
Yeah. All right. I'll try to check it out.
One thing I wanted to bring up too,
Yeah.
was really interesting with like manifestation is like when I split away from when I had people in my life that I knew what they wanted in life. Like for example, somebody was really bitter all the time, and they would say, well, not all the time, but they would come to me and say like, "How do you stay so joyful?" Right. So then when I kind of stopped talking with this person, I found a picture online of somebody that resembled them doing backflips, just joyful, like sheer joy. And I put that image for their number, and then I changed the name to Joyful Jubilant So-and-so. And a year later passed by, and this person calls me up, and we reconnect, and he said, "Yo, bro, I never knew it." I'm like, "Well," he's like, "Yo, life is going great, but I was doing backflips." I said, "Really? That's amazing, bro." But I realized that you create the image for somebody.
Right.
We're the master image maker, you know? We are made, just like one of the ways of interpreting the Bible when in the beginning, let us make man in our image. Let us make manifestations in our imagination. So let us make man in our image. We got
Right.
it. So it's interesting. So whatever, and when you do that for others, you're gonna get back a whole lot for yourself too.
No, I love it. It's the same points, right? About like the virtual reality, the vision board.
Mm-hmm.
Once you put that vision in your brain, all of a
Right.
sudden you start creating it
Right.
because you get an idea. Once you see, a basketball player do a move, all of a sudden all these other people do it because now they saw the vision and they can go create that now.
Right.
Oh, how do they do that? Oh, he went like this. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that vision is everything. That's the seed of all things, right?
Yes.
The vision.
Right.
Without the vision, there's nothing. You don't make anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even go to the store and buy some shit. You got to envision that first. I'm going to buy some milk. You envision it. You go, oh yeah, I can see it now. It's in the counter. And then you go make it happen. Without the vision, you're just wandering around aimlessly.
You're
You know
right,
what I'm saying?
bro. You're right.
Beautiful,
true.
man. That's beautiful that you did that. I love that. Because
Yeah, and I
you
didn't
put
tell
that
the person.
idea in their head.
Right.
Did you send it to the person?
No, they
You just put it out there.
They had no clue, and that's the thing. One of my favorite
So
mentors.
you put it out there as energy. You're
Right.
saying, and the person didn't even see it.
right, and then they still to this day don't know unless they're watching this and they get a hunch. But
Why? Why did you do it that way and not send it to them and show them the actual vision?
Well, one of the things I learned from one of my favorite writers, Neville Goddard, was he would say, when you do an imaginal act, you have to do it secretly, because there's a verse in the Bible that says, when you go to speak before your Father, your mind, go into the closet and do it secretly. Then that which you have done secretly, the Father will make real to the whole world. So when you do things like this, you secretly do it. You don't tell them what you're doing for them. And then you just know that whatever you sent out in your mind, it will not return void. It's going to be accomplished. Like, and then you just watch it and you're like, oh wow, yeah. It makes you realize, like, yeah, I am the power. You are the power. But when if you tell somebody, a lot of times they'll be like, no, that's not me. But you just don't let them know what you're doing. But it could backfire if you're doing something without the law of love. Like love, if you got the golden rule, do unto others, and you think about others how they want you, how you want them to think about you. It can never go wrong when you're using love. But if you can use it the other way too, and it can get deadly, it can get poisonous, it can get chaotic. So make sure it's something you would want and give it for them.
Right. Interesting. See, it's a beautiful, whether people agree with your belief system or not, it's a beautiful way to look at things and makes you do beautiful things that I think actually tend to work in this game.
Right.
Whatever is causing it or not, whether it's just being, I don't know about that one. Like, I'm not sure. I'm curious. Like, would it help if I were in the same situation and let's say Josh had an issue or something? Would I want to send him that image? See, I'm the type to go, let me show it to you, man.
Yeah.
Because I want to burn that in his brain. Because I'm like I guess I'm approaching it more like a scientist, this experience, without ever, I don't claim to know that science is actually right or not. I just look at it that way. Oh, he needs this. If I think of the vision board working in a scientific way, like, oh shit, it burned an image in your virtual reality brain. So now you're going to be thinking about it. You're going to find opportunities that match that. I just come at it from more of a logic only, which also gets me to a lot of the same things. That's what I'm saying. You come at it from the spiritual, like, you kind of take verse of the Bible. You are using logic because you're not taking every verse out of the Bible, taking the ones you like and the ones that fit sort of what you yourself have written in your own Bible.
Right.
See, I'm just saying, I don't know if that's really true, like sending it out. I don't know.
Right.
But shit, maybe it works. It is weird how, sometimes you have an idea or an invention idea and someone already invented it somewhere else. Or if you don't act on it, months later, somebody comes up with the idea.
Right.
I honestly, that's why science doesn't always work, because there are a lot of unexplained things like that. Right. Where ideas have traveled, like there have been islands of like a certain monkey, for example, that learned how to crack a nut a certain way with a tool. And they found that other islands the monkeys discovered at the same time, but there was no way for them to swim back and forth.
That's crazy.
It's like, do ideas even travel? Are we really telepathically communicating?
Totally, we are.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe we are, but how do you know for sure? I'm totally open that you might be right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say, yeah, you're right, because I don't know. I want to know. How do you know you're right, that we are telepathically talking? Because it's very possible.
Yeah. Well, I have stories from other people that really connect, but like that telepathy really, really works. I don't want to get into that, because then telepathy. So basically, like you, like I remember one time, one of the persons I know, they were looking for a record, and he really wanted this record so bad, but he told his family what he wanted for Christmas, but it was sold out. Nowhere could he get it. And he imagined himself going into the record store and coming out with the record. So when he walked into the store, he said, "I've come for such and such." And they said, "No, that's been sold out for months. We don't have a copy." And in his mind, he said, "That's not what I've heard." And then the person said, then he said to the store clerk, he said, "You shouldn't promote products you don't sell." And he begins to walk out. And he said, wait a minute, sir. And he says, "Look at this. I found this behind another record." Like he found the record he was looking for. And, he wouldn't let, he told himself before he left, "I will go and I will come back with the record." And it was kind of like, it worked in his favor.
Right. Look, I'm not trying to talk you out of it, but as a scientist, I look at that and go,
yeah,
all right, that might have happened that time, but there might have been 5 other times it didn't happen.
Right.
How do we know that time it was a telepathic kind of occurrence?
Right. How do we?
Right.
How can we?
See, how do we know?
how
We
do
don't know.
measure it? Yeah.
But maybe it's good to just think that it is that, because if that's powerful for you,
yeah.
right? Like believing in God, for example, if that's powerful to a lot of people,
Right.
a lot of professional athletes and shit. If it works, do it. For
Right.
me, I personally can't believe wholeheartedly in that because I too much go back to the logic, let's say, and go, well, I don't know that for sure. So there's always like an element of doubt, but it also makes me have a completely open mind because I also don't know that I don't know shit.
Right.
I don't know that there is or isn't a God. I don't know what's right. I just know I'm going to give my logic based on what works in this game for me
Yeah.
and what I think works, for others.
Right.
But I will say this, man. Again, when somebody says there is no God, to me, that's an ignorant statement because how would you know that?
Right.
How do you know you're not plugged into like a simulation and then that world that has a God or whatever? Like, how can you know?
Right.
If you're such a scientist, you should be able to say, hey, yeah, we don't know, first
Right.
of all. Second of all, I would say this. If somebody were to say, all right, Rick, I'm giving you $100,000, you got to bet it. There is or there isn't a higher being. I don't know what that being is. It might be a computer programmer for all I know that
Yeah.
created this world. But it's definitely weird to think this was all just created by chance
Yeah.
and random molecules just because of like the DNA sequencing and the code that's in our genes and how it reproduces and how it's like a computer programs.
Right.
Strange.
It really is.
Like,
yeah.
and the way, our DNA stores information and then makes our bodies grow in that way. And all these animals have the code sequences.
Mhm.
There's so much math that explains the universe.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it feels like if I had to put my money on it, I'd say there's probably some kind of creator or
Yeah.
thing that's out there, a computer program, a God, but what is it? I don't know. It could be something we can't even fathom,
Right.
right? It could be just some kind of intelligence or not,
Right.
Right. I'm
Yeah.
open to it all. But what I like about that is I could have easily gone the atheist route, let's say,
Right.
which initially I thought that way. I'm like, well, there's probably no, because you don't want to believe in one religion. You start thinking there is no God, but that's not necessarily true because that path is hopeless.
Yeah.
Or there's just nothing.
Right.
And there's no need to be hopeless because you don't know that to be a fact.
Right.
You don't know there's nothing. You can't possibly know that. So why not believe in the limitless possibilities of everything
Right.
and know that there could just as well be something after this game is over as not.
Right.
At minimum, I got a 50-50 shot, baby.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
50-50 is good fucking odds that this isn't over when we die.
Right.
50-50.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
But shit, man, like I said, the only reason I say 50-50 is I don't know, so therefore I can't know one way or the other. But
Right.
like I said, all the coding, the genetic coding,
Right.
very strange, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Could be AI, man. You don't know. AI with really believable, skin
Right.
developed by aliens. We don't know.
Right. I know. Bro.
And I don't latch onto anyone. I just have a problem when somebody latches onto one potential theory and just lives their life saying, no, we're here from aliens. You don't know for sure. Be open to that. I'm
Right.
open to that. I wouldn't be surprised by anything, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't be surprised either.
There you go. So you're really an open-minded philosopher
I am.
that
Yeah.
came up different than me. Like you started deeply ingrained in religion. And so a lot of your being, a lot of your foundation was built upon religious teachings and all of that. And it's a beautiful thing to study. My dad is also like not religious type like me, like open, but he studies every religion, man, because he wants to understand
Right.
how people think and get the gems, because there's gems to be had.
Yeah.
To ignore it and go, oh, that's just
Right.
why. It works for people. It's a certain way of living. There's, but then the guilt part, man, that's the thing I have a problem with. When it's used against people to make them feel bad about themselves, to make them feel bad about the animal they are.
Right.
If you believe in God, you should say, hey, this was meant to be then.
Right.
We are all creatures of some higher being. So why do you have to feel bad about yourself?
Right.
If you like music or
Right.
you like sex or whatever, right?
Right.
Or you like watching porn, like you're not evil.
Right.
Or you like masturbating.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm only saying that because as a male growing up, probably all of my male friends thought they were going to hell
Yeah.
for a long time.
Yeah.
It's already a confusing time in your life,
Right.
you know? And when you're doing it 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day, sometimes you start thinking, I'm a piece of shit. Because I thought that was like, wow.
Right.
Low life, because you don't talk about it because there's these expectations,
Right.
right, of how you're supposed to be, how you're supposed to think. Don't think about that. What
Right.
you're thinking, that's natural. Doesn't mean you have to act on everything, right?
Right.
But
That's true.
accept yourself, man.
Yeah.
Be you. Be who you are.
That's the main thing.
Give your talents out to the tribe, man, whatever they are.
Right. That's true liberty. That's what liberty is. I remember a girl asked me one time, she said, Rhythm, if you could define love with one word, what would it be? And I said, let me call you back. And I thought about it for the day, and then it just clicked. I said, called her back. I said, liberty. Because liberty is when you let everyone be exactly who they are, and you just send your love to them. Like, you don't try to change them. You really are bringing liberty in the world. Now we can all really weave together, because
Yes.
I'm not telling you how to live. You ain't telling me how to live. On the contrary, you're like, yo, man, you got a great service. What can I do for you? How can I help you along? And I'm saying the same way to you. But meanwhile, we might be opposite
Right.
in our expressions in life and our identities, but that doesn't matter.
Right.
What matters is when we connect with each other, we're thinking each other in a great way. We're helping
Right.
each other out.
We're wasting valuable resources without doing that, man.
Yeah.
You know, when you don't tap into people's like talents, what they
Right.
can bring, embracing it. That's why I love the Smurf Village, man. You know, because
I gotta go back on
to
my
me, it's about everyone's themselves. You know, if you're a jokey Smurf cracking jokes, then be that Smurf. Be a comedian. Then don't
Right.
tell kids you're bad. Talk too much. Maybe you should be a talk show host. I was talking too much in school. See,
There you go.
they sent me on and then I became an accountant, bro. The fuck was I thinking? Because the school wasn't telling me, hey, you talk a lot. You should look into being a podcast host. Nobody ever said that. It was just negative. Hey, shut up. You go into the principal's office.
Yeah.
Just like you said, those kids that wanted to dance. Dance. Don't tell them to sit down. Oh, you like that? You know what? Let's do a dance class.
Right.
You know, embrace that.
Embrace it.
Let them find themselves and feel good about who they are and be part of, you know, this tribe
Yeah.
in the best way they can. And that's when you're gonna have beauty, man. That's when you're gonna have a beehive that's fully functioning, fully operating. Right now we're like a saggy ass beehive, man. A little bit sad, a little bit saggy, sick, a little bit off. We gotta get our shit together, man. Reconnect,
Right.
reactivate all of the bees, man. All
Right.
those bees
You're
laying there, man, like that are out, down and out. They can't handle this beehive life anymore, man. It's gotten too hard. All these bills. Bees aren't made to pay all these bills and do all these things, and you know, got to
Right.
help them out a little bit.
You're right.
But each bee is valuable, man, to
Yeah.
that beehive. Every single worker bee, every single honey bee, they're all valuable, man.
That's true.
And we're kind of just like, don't worry about those bees. They're kind of like, you know, that's normal. Is
Right.
it? It's more like a symptom. Like something's off here.
Right.
Something's off on this island, man.
Right.
You got bees laying there sick and not feeling good about themselves. Something's wrong.
That's true. That's very true.
Yep.
That's true, man. Yeah, we gotta get the beehive together.
Let's get the
Gotta
beehive, man.
Get it back
Yeah.
before how better than it's ever been, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the beehive's never had the internet before.
Right.
We could connect. We could really connect it all. Like you said, we're all one, man. I really believe that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're just bees from a different part of the world. Maybe
Right.
they look a little different. This one's got a little fuzzier. This one's got a different type of stripe on it. But we're all fucking bees at the end of the day.
We're all
man.
bees.
We're all connected, baby. We're all spreading that pollen, man. That love.
Right. Pollinate the world. Yeah, with the love.
with our love.
That's right.
That could come across wrong, man. Let's pollinate the world with our love, Rhythm.
Yeah. That could
Get
be-
ready for us.
Oh man,
Good shit, man.
it's good stuff. Yeah.
Should we end it, or
Well,
I just want to see if my kids are here, and then maybe
yeah.
how's your schedule look?
I'm good. I'm free.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm free.
All right. Well, let me take a break because I want to get a lighter.
Okay. Yeah.
Should we start up real quick again?
Yeah. Why not?
We good? Yeah, just to see. We'll fucking. I definitely felt like that was. I thought that was a really good interview.
Yeah.
I felt a little bit like both of us were holding back
Right.
a little bit,
Yeah. I was.
right?
Yeah.
It's like conscious of the podcast, conscious of the microphones. I haven't done an interview in a while, too.
Okay.
I don't know if it's that. I'm just being super like open, right? There's nothing
Right.
wrong with. I thought it was like a great conversation, but I felt like you held back a little bit, like you were tentative,
Yeah.
right?
You know what it is, bro. Like, I try to translate the information in a different way based on different people. So I know I'm out in the world now, so I got to translate this information for everyone to get.
I see you're thinking about how to say it,
Right.
which is good, because I feel like with me, I've learned to slow myself down.
Right.
I'm doing it right now consciously,
Right.
because I use my words more effectively. So that's actually a good reminder for me.
Right.
But back to you, I think you got to not do that, man.
No.
I think my artistry suffered a little bit on that podcast. Suffered meaning probably not the right word. I held it back because I wasn't. If my art is talking and interviewing people,
Right.
I was holding back my art, and you are holding back your message a little bit.
Yeah. I know you're right. You're right.
It's that balance of choosing your words and not wasting people's time with something they may not understand, let's say,
Right.
and compromising just what you want to say and how you want to say it.
Right.
So that's interesting, man. So wait, why? I feel like, here's my hunch. Something happened along the way. There's things that happen in your life. Super bad stigma maybe with like being overly religious, maybe, that people held against you or something, and you're like worried about going into it too much because people are going to misinterpret, they're going to judge.
Right.
And I don't think you fully expressed who you are now. You kind of kept it a little vague, so maybe you can go into that.
Yeah. You're right.
Like,
Yeah.
are you like? Because I'm kind of like, I found myself filling the gaps for you a little bit because I'm guessing. You could
Right.
say you're wrong, Rick. I'm just telling you what's
Right.
in my mind to be
Yeah.
honest, so you can go, oh wow, that's what you think. That's what I'm getting, right? Like, and maybe this is like part of both of our evolutions to
Right.
like strip all that shit,
Yeah.
because the conversation is way more interesting if I'm asking whatever the fuck I want.
Right.
And saying what I want and not going, oh, how do I lead this interview for the podcast audience?
Yeah.
It's not really my brand at all.
Right.
In fact, I think what I'm going to take away from this is I should have primed us more for having a real open conversation
Yeah.
versus like, let's have a podcast.
Right.
Podcast is like secondary.
Right.
It's like the music is almost, the recording of the music is secondary.
Right.
It's the song, it's the message, it's the feeling.
Right. Yeah. Well, the one thing that I was thinking of when you asked what made you break out of that religion thing, well, when my mother called me up with the vision that I had, that I don't know how I forgot about it, but she said, "Hey, you remember when you were 5 years old? What happened?" And I said, "Well, what happened?" She told me again, and then it just clicked. And I said, "How did I ever forget that?" But basically, what happened when I was 5 years old, and it wasn't a dream, it really happened. I was laying in my bed, and then a man walked up to my door, and he never came in my room, but he stayed at the threshold of the door. So I get out of bed, I walk up to him, and I give him my left hand, and he takes me into my sister's room. and my sister was sleeping on her right-hand side, and I remember seeing the pink carpet in her room and the brown carpet in the hallway, and he looks at me, and without words, while he's holding my hand, he says, "David, I love you." And then he says it again, "David, I love you. David, I love you." He said it 3 times. And then he said, "Your sister's eye will be healed, and you are going to have a little brother." And when he said that, I was excited because my mom, when I was that age, my mother would always cry and say, "Oh, Jesus, please don't let Michelle get her eye, don't let her go blind, let her be able to see." And I hear her praying and crying all the time that she would pray she wouldn't be blind. So I'm excited now. I'm like, "Oh, she's going to be healed." So he brings me back in my room. I walk back into bed. He never came in the room, but then he walks away. And the second he walked away, I run out of bed. I run to my mom and dad's room. I wake my mother up. I said, "Mom, wake up." And she wake up. That's how she always wake up, like gasping for breath, you know? Even to this day, she'd be, you know? And so I said, "Mommy," I said, "Michelle," I called her Mewell. I said, "Mewell's eye's going to be healed, and I'm going to have a brother." She said, "Huh? Who told you?" I said, "A man." She said, "A man?" It's like, "Yeah, he came to my room." "Well, who came to your room?" I was like, "Yeah, you know." That's right. You remember.
You remember that? Canoli feels that shit. He's like, I saw that. I was there.
That's right. Bear witness. But so then she's like, "What did he look like?" And I couldn't remember. He didn't have no glow or anything like that. He just looked like a regular man. They just walked up my steps and into my room at the exit. So basically, my mother didn't know that she was pregnant with my brother, but she was pregnant with my brother, and my sister's eye is healed. You know, she never went blind. And so that showed me that whatever it, you know, that showed me that I'm being guided, and that I'm loved, and you know, we all are loved. You know, there's not one greater person than the other. You know, it's like we're all one. You know, so but it just that let me really be at ease with going my own way. I said, I'm gonna get out of all the connections I'm with around these people, bless them all. And I remember walking into the bathroom, shutting the door, and looking at the mirror and saying, "Okay, remove me from all these people, bless them with all the joys of life, and make them harmoniously fade out of my life." And then I said, "Thank you." And then a couple weeks later, it was like done. You know, there came an issue where I had to say a yes or no. I gave my no. It went, okay, boom, was done. And then I was afraid. So I didn't know if they would come and attack me, or because I was connected with a lot of interesting folks.
So see, here's where I'm not sure if I'm just not hearing or you're leaving things out
Okay.
that everybody wants to know.
Yeah.
And it's okay if you don't want to go into it.
Yeah. I'll go into
I
it.
love it because somebody's going through whatever you went through, man.
Right.
So I don't know, but I understand. I totally respect people's privacy and fear, and you don't want to hurt other people. People to get upset, whatever. So it's up to you, man. But plus, we can cut it out. So I'd rather for the conversation, let's turn the cameras off then, or keep it rolling and cut whatever you want to cut out. Cut it out. I'm not kidding. Josh knows we've cut stuff out where people afterwards said, "Hey, you know what? Can you cut the part out where I'm smoking, let's say, or whatever?" And we're like, "Yeah, just cut it right out." So. That's what I'm saying. Like, I should have prefaced it by, I didn't say that this time. I almost always start and say, "Hey, by the way, this is a conversation. Anything you want to cut out after, we just cut it out."
Yeah.
So you don't have to feel like, "Oh, I don't want to say this on camera."
Right.
But like, you were 18 at this time?
Yeah.
Is this when you had when did you have the division?
The
of
vision.
The guy?
The actual thing happened at 5 years old.
And then your mom reminded you of
At
it
18.
later.
I was around 24, maybe. Yeah.
And that's when you decided to walk out?
24, wait, 18, 19, 20, 23, 45, 46, 49, probably like 27, actually.
That's when you decided to walk out?
That's when I decided.
Why?
Because I knew.
No, but what was happening? Were you like in a cult? Like, was it a group that was like,
"Oh, it was called that. It was called a cult." Yeah. People.
So is that what it is? Because that's okay.
I never.
You don't have to label it, but why were you like? Why did you have to separate yourself? Well, you were being controlled. Like, there's just I don't know, because I wasn't in an environment like that. But
yeah,
actually, my produced. Sorry, just to tell you, because you know what, I want to just let you know where I'm coming from on this, because I just want to know. Like, I don't. It's one of the things I don't like about the podcast is like I like having open conversations and like people trust me with stuff I never tell anybody.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. You know, I don't want the podcast to limit the real discussions, the real conversations. Someone
Right.
might want to. I noticed that's missing in the podcast is like in my real conversations with no cameras, people start asking for advice or like opening up to me because I open up to them and tell them all my pain and mistakes and
Right.
you know, and they realize, oh, okay, you're not trying to find something on me. I'm just trying to like help people navigate this game. It's fun.
Yeah.
Like we all can have fun. So
Yeah.
remove the mental prisons. You remove some mental prisons that day. That's what I hear. But I just want to understand it so other people can do it.
Yeah.
If you're willing to share it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what was it, man? What?
Well, from the
Yeah.
outside, everybody was thinking it was a cult. I heard it from everyone around me. But did I think it was a cult? No.
Right. It doesn't matter. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot to say what I was going to say. That my partner.
Oh yeah, let's hear.
In the film production business, right?
Right.
One of my partners like grew up in a cult, man. He says it was like, you know, like a 7-day Adventist, hardcore, controlling what you do and think. But it's not about the label. Who cares about the label? There might be cults out there that are good. They're like groups, right? That think a certain way. So I don't really care about the label. I'm saying you were in an environment that was like oppressive and put a lot of restraints on you. You couldn't do your music.
Yeah. Well,
Like my partner couldn't listen to he didn't hear Beatles or like any of that shit till he was like 18.
wow.
And he was like, what the fuck is this?
Right.
And he loves music. He wouldn't study music. He's an artist, man.
Right.
So imagine you're a fucking musician smurf and you're told, no, you can't. It's like Coco, that movie Coco. They're like, no, don't play the guitar. And he's a guitar smurf.
Right.
You're taking you're fucking cutting off his fucking spirit, man.
Yeah.
Like, what if that is the thing you want? That's why I use the Smurf analogy. What if that's the thing what if you are music Smurf or whatever, right?
Right.
And somebody's keeping you from doing that because they're telling you it's bad, it's not good, you shouldn't do it,
yeah.
you're going to hell. Like that's just, you know,
Yeah.
it's controlling mind control, man.
Right. Right. Yeah. The you know what it was? Like I was doing music while I was involved with these people. And but it was basically I couldn't speak my own mind. I was starting to look at things and like I remember when my friend threw away a box of books that I had brought back. And a lot of it was like some was on the occult, some was on like esoteric information or ancient science and stuff. And to see it being thrown out, and I was like, okay, this is where I want to read these books now, but they're getting thrown out. So this is where I knew the split was happening because I want to go down that road. I want to know what's, you know, and you want to stick to this thing, and that's fine. So I remember grabbing them a few of them out from the trash and, you know, keeping them and stuff. But it was like, I knew at that point, I was blaming a few people in my mind. I was angry with them because I felt like they were the enemy and I had to get away from them. But in my solitude from them, I realized I was oppressing myself. So therefore, naturally, it could have been any other face or name, but there would have always been somebody to oppress me because I'm oppressing my own self.
And they're oppressed.
Right.
So you're blaming them who are oppressed, who's blaming their oppressor, and so on. It's up to
Right.
you to like figure out how to escape it.
Right.
Once you put it on yourself, you're like, okay, what do I do? Forget and empathize with them. They don't know any better.
Yeah.
They're just doing what they think is best for them.
Right.
Everyone's doing that, but it's not, you know, it's up to you to get out of that,
Yeah.
you know?
Because now if I speak to the people, it's love. Like I still contact them now and then.
Right.
Hey, how's everything? How's family? Da da da. And it's peaceful. It's a whole new image now.
Right. You can empathize with them now. That's
Yeah.
very important, man.
Yeah.
Because they're just doing what they think is best, man.
Right.
You just maybe open your eyes, turned on the lights. And let me tell you, just to say for the record, why is it better to question everything? I guess in some cases, ignorance is bliss. That could be true. But if you question everything and you stack up your beliefs against a different perspective, you can always go back to your old belief. Nobody's
Yeah.
saying, no, don't believe that. So why hide it unless you're scared that the alternate way to look at it might be right, and you're afraid people might leave your way of thinking, leave the house you built. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what it is. Because I don't mind somebody questioning me. I don't mind somebody saying, Rick, you say you're open to anything. Well, let's talk. Dude, give it to me. Because if you give me something that works better than what I already know, I'm going to adopt it.
Right.
Fuck yeah. Why not? We're all together. I'm just trying to play this game better. Help me. If you have a better way I can play, I want to know. I'm just sharing with you. Here's what I learned. Don't oppress yourself, man.
Right.
And there's so much oppression out there. That's the major problem I have with religion, is the oppressive part, where they make you feel guilty for having instinctual desires, attraction toward a certain career or a certain type of person. Maybe you like somebody from another race, religion. Who cares?
Right.
We're all the same, man.
Yes.
We can breed together. Obviously, physics tells you that. So how could you think there's something wrong with that?
Right. Right.
Once you really understand where we're from, that we're all just from different continents affected by the environment for hundreds of years. Like, we're all coming from the same place, man.
Right.
Probably Africa. Although, again, that's just what I think. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe that was made up, but it makes sense. We're all the same fucking species that fucking multiplied and, evolved in different parts of the world.
Right. Right. That makes sense. And you know,
open your mind, question it, and then go back to being, thinking the same way, if that's the best way to look at it, right? But question it, stack it up. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. You can never go wrong. Question. Well, even in the Bible, to bring up a verse, it says that it's the honor of God to conceal a matter, but the glory of kings to search it out. So like the infinite mind is like hidden all these wonderful mysteries for us, and it's endless. And us as the kings, we are here to search it out, to ask and question and seek, and
Yeah.
But it's an infinite storehouse of like treasures that we're gonna be able to find. Like everything's gonna keep changing and progressing. Like the amazing part of that vision I had when I was 5 was, for years my mom would ask me like, what did the man look like? And I never had an image in my face. Like I never could recall a detail. She would say, was it Jesus? Was it an angel? Well, who was it? And I would be like, I don't know. But then one day, about 4 years ago, I was in the same room as my childhood where it occurred, sitting on the same bed, looking in the same direction. And I had all these box braids in my hair. I was taking all the braids out one by one, just like sitting there for hours doing it. And then finally, when I got done, I just like combed my hair out, and I'm looking at myself in the mirror. And then I look at the door frame, and then I look in the mirror, and I look in the doorway again. And then I said, was it me? Because I realized that the man I saw in the mirror was the exact image of the man I saw in the door.
Oh, fuck.
And I've never said this out in the public till today.
Oh, shit. That's a fucking cool ass story, man.
Yeah.
Like meaning, I believe you. And I remember having like shit that happened to me when I was a kid where I'm like, did that happen?
Right.
You have such an imagination, but some of it probably did, man. And that's great. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Imagine it was you visiting, maybe just by thinking about the time, you created this time loop.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like
I mean, who knows, man? We don't really know how this quantum physics works, man.
Right.
Like multiverse, the multi-universe, like, time is an illusion.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And yeah.
Because this might be a simulation. That's why all those things could be explained by simulation, by the way.
Right.
That's why it's like, oh yeah, like there's these like, there's flaws in the system, and you see like the parallels of things, and
right. Yeah. 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 Anything is possible, anything is possible. Because one time too, I mean, that was an actual vision. Like that really happened. So that like, it wasn't even a dream. It like really happened because I never fell back asleep. I just got right back out of bed. But one time though, I had this one dream where my mother in the dream, she was flipping through old photos and she says, "Look at this one." And she hands me it. And it was a picture of me and my sister running up the driveway on a summer day with our big old book bags. Like we just got off the bus. And then in a flash, I was in the photo and I was on my driveway and the wind was blowing. And I look down the driveway and I see myself as 5 years old running up the driveway, like, you know, my bowl cut, just running up with my sister. And as I got to the top of the driveway, I looked at myself. I said, "David." And then he looked at me. I said, and he ran up to me and said, "David." And I pick him up like this and I'm holding, but it's me at 5. So I'm holding him like this, "David." And I put him back down. So it's like, you know, it's interesting. What's up, King? Yeah.
Damn.
But yeah, just the coming back, you know, they say your inner child, you know, communing with the,
Right.
he's still alive. The little 5-year-old you and you and you,
Of
it's
course,
still
man.
alive, you know?
Right.
Yeah. We wanna,
Somewhere in the universe, man.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a
Right.
different person almost too. Like we change so quickly, man. It's like this other person,
Right.
but it's hard to stay connected with them.
Right.
I don't know if I really remember that person. That was good, man.
Yeah.
Nice flowy ending, right?
Right. Good ending.
Yeah, we'll find the ending part, man.
Okay.
You know, like we don't have to post all of it,
Right.
edit it out, but good shit, man.
No, thank you. What's that? Oh. Thank you, King. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
I'm excited, man.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking big, man.
Yeah.
Cannoli, come here.
He's a good dog.
You're a very good dog.
Knock him out the box, Rick. Knock him out, Rick. Knock him out the box.